You know we like to shoot on a Wednesday. You know we love On the Nose. And we have some breaking news, Frank. Our very first brand deal has been secured here at Uncrowned. You know, we've had sponsorship deals and different types of partnerships, if you will, but this is a big day because today marks the very first brand deal, the launch of a relationship that I hope will last for many, many years to come. And what I love so much about this particular partnership, if you will, is that I believe in this brand. This isn't just like, hey, they brought me a piece of paper. They're like, okay, today's program is brought to you by so-and-so. I've used it. I know the owners. I know about their story. I know about their backstory. I believe in them. And I'm so honored that they are our first. And I'm so honored that we are able to rep them on this here program. And so let me tell you about my good friends over at Aviron. And let me tell you about the founder, Andy, and his partner, Inessa. Two fantastic people who I've had a chance to spend some time with. It's a tremendous story because they are as mom and pop as you can get in the sense that they are doing this on their own. There's no massive corporation behind them. It is a true blue Canadian company that is taking on all the big corporations and doing a phenomenal job of doing so. Andy's a guy who loves to work out, maybe a little ADD, gets a little bored with the workouts. You know, they could be a little bit boring. And he thought, what if I can gamify the workout? What if I could bring fun games, interactivity, watching different things? What if I could bring that to the workout as well? And he has nailed it. First with a rower, now with a bike, and also with a treadmill. There's the bike right over here. You could see it right over there. And what's so great about it is, like I said, it's not just, okay, hey, let me jump on this thing and, you know, just watch a workout, watch someone telling me what to do. No, you can play a ton of games. And in addition to that, you've got on-demand workouts, scenic destinations, live competition, entertainment platforms like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus. You can stream all of that right now. We have a link right over there, avironactive.com/uncrowned. You could go to that link right now to learn more about the rower, about the Aviron treadmill, about the Aviron Fit Bike, about the Strong Go rower, about the Strong rower, about their litany of great products. And I've used the rower. You've seen me probably show it on my Instagram. My kids love it. Sometimes they just sit there and watch stuff or play games as well. Great for everyone. Great for the whole family. And like I said, true blue, hardworking, lunch pail, hard hat, good people who are trying to make working out, staying in shape, fitness fun. They've gamified it, as they say, and I love everything about it. Now, I wanted to say that from the heart because I believe in them, and I'm so proud that they are a part of the family. I'm so proud that they are believing in us as well. That's just my own testimonial. That's just me kind of riffing, but I also want to read this ad read here because they deserve that, and I want to tell you more specifics about the brand. So, as you guys know, workouts shouldn't feel like a grind. That's why I have made Aviron a part of my fitness routine, and let me tell you, it's changed the game. Aviron takes exercise to a whole new level using gamification. Yes, you can play actual video games while you work out. Powered by their award-winning Aviron World software and paired with industry-leading hardware, Aviron's rower, bike, and treadmill deliver the best workouts I have personally done in a very long time. I've been using the Strong rower for a while now, and I'm absolutely hooked. In particular, love to see what I could get. 2 minutes, 500 meters, let's go. They also recently released the Aviron Fit Bike, which we've been using here in the studio. And I won't lie, it's a little addictive. I get so into the games that I completely forget I am working out. Once you start, you are locked in, competing head-to-head, racing against the clock, or chasing your personal best. They've got multiplayer games, races, on-demand classes, scenic rides, and the most streaming options I have ever seen on any one of these types of workout machines. I'm sweating it out, getting competitive, and actually looking forward to my cardio days, which makes it way easier to stick to the routine. Right now, Aviron's Black Friday sale is on, so you can get your best prices of the year right here and now. Plus, you can head over to avironactive.com/uncrowned. Get an extra $50 off. That's Aviron, AVIRON, active.com/uncrowned to end boring workouts. We even have a bike in the studio, and we have an Aviron bike cam. There it is. Look at that thing. Yeah, right in the studio at the Uncrowned HQ. Look how nice it is. Beautiful stuff. The guys jump on there, get the blood, boiling, get the body moving. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much to Aviron for their support. I really do appreciate them and happy that they're a part of the family now. All right, let us get into things. How about that? Southside Fox number 1, ArielHelwani.substack.com is the place to be for all the questions. Okay, this is one that we've gotten a bunch of times in the past. Who'd be each of your picks to replace Dana? What do you think it would take for him to leave? I mean, people keep talking about the Dana thing, and they talk about like, oh, is it going to be DC? Is it going to be Chael? Is it going to be this guy, that guy? The UFC is so big that they may not even need a new Dana if and when he ever leaves. And by the way, Bob Arum is still around, and he's 92. Vince McMahon was around into his late 70s, so I don't think it's happening tomorrow. And I'm not really sure why everyone's so obsessed with this question, because he gives no indication as to any desire to leave anytime soon, really. But yeah, we get it asked all the time. If I had to nominate one person, it's probably Hunter Campbell, if only because he's like the second in charge, and he's the one who's most involved in the business side of things. And again, ultimately, you need someone who the public and the media believes is actually making decisions. Like a figurehead, like One Championship tried this with Rich Franklin, and other people have tried like putting in figureheads, and it kind of usually falls flat because, to be honest, no one really believes that they're decision makers. So if I had to pick one right here and now, it's Hunter Campbell. And I've told you in the past, he's the one who's really doing a lot of the business deals at this juncture with the fighters. And now you're starting to see him out and about more. You're starting to see the fights, or the fighters, I should say, crediting him, talking about their relationship with him. And then when they had that Roku documentary series, he was a massive part of it. FT MMA. I think my question got lost in all the political nonsense last week, so I'll try again. Ariel, before UFC 309, we saw John Jones pull out of a scheduled interview with TNT's Adam Catterall, referencing his close relationship with Tom Aspinall. I think this was a real shame, as I feel Adam is a true professional and is only rivaled by yourself when it comes to interviewers in the MMA space. That being said, how difficult is it to balance personal and professional relationships in sports media, and what is your opinion on John refusing the interview? I mean, I thought it was silly, to be honest. I do think that Adam is a pro, and yeah, sure, he may be English and he may have relationships, but I've never seen an interview where he's talking to someone fighting an English fighter or a UK fighter or a European fighter, and I felt like he was unfair to that person. And John is allowed to speak to whomever he wants. He's fully allowed to decline any interview. I don't love the way he did it. If I'm being 1,000% honest, I do give him a lot of credit in the aftermath. You see him go up to Adam and explain further. If that part didn't happen, then it would have been really crappy. But at least he did that, so maybe cooler heads prevailed. In the end, unfortunate. Not the first time someone's declined an interview. Won't be the last. Just a very public one, and I'm actually kind of surprised it turned out to be such a big deal. Adam didn't deserve that. If I were John, I would just do the interview. And sometimes those interviews where there's a little bit of tension, friction, end up being the best interview for everyone involved, including John, where he can have some fun and be like, I know that you're a Tom guy and blah, 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 blah. Just answer the questions and move on. Like what is really controversial about an English person interviewing you on that fight week? I mean, he was talking about John a whole host. Like, if he wanted to avoid the Tom topic that week, he certainly didn't do that. He talked about him more than he ever had. So I thought it was unnecessary, but this has happened before. It happened to me, and it's happened to me with John. I've experienced John has come a long way when it comes to media. But I've said this before. The experience in 2015 going over there to do the walk and talk was not a fun experience. And because he overthinks things and he goes back and forth and he's got a million people in his ear telling him, no, you shouldn't do this, you should say this, you should take this out. And so it gets to be a bigger thing than it actually is. As far as balancing personal and professional relationships, look, we're human beings and we're going to naturally at times get closer to some people as opposed to others, but I give a lot of credit to the ones who are able to say, like, look, I trust that you're going to keep it down the middle. I trust that you're not going to be unfair, that you're not going to hit me below the belt, so to speak. And I'll do the media. And especially when it's a partner of the UFC, they get those interviews as part of the deal. It would have been an interview. It would have been 10, 15 minutes. It would have been a thing and everyone would have moved on. And then it turned into a bigger thing because it was declined. I'm not sure who released that interaction. Maybe it was TNT. You know, that stuff tends to be better for the brand, the network, the reporter, because it makes it out to be, you know, a thing. But again, credit to John. Once again, I do believe Adam asked him a question at the press conference and he answered it. And I think he even complimented the question. So kind of much ado about nothing. Adam's been in the game a long time. I'm sure it's not the first time someone has said, no, I'm not interested. It might be the most public example of that, but I'm sure he didn't lose too much sleep over it. And it could have been avoided, but again, this is just a part of the game, and I don't think anything horrible happened as a result. John just kind of overthinks these things, and he's entitled to. It's fight week. He can pick and choose whomever he wants to speak to. We shouldn't necessarily hate on him for that. Jamal 2020. What is the real story behind the audio issues? The real story, there is no real story. I mean, there is a real story, but it's not that interesting. I guess there was some sort of routing issue, and there's another show that is taped in this same facility. It's a Yahoo Finance show. It's like an 8-hour show. I think there's different shows within the block of time, and I think the routing issue caused their feed to come onto our show, and I think something from us went on to them, except it wasn't Rampage's audio. I think it was just his picture or my picture. So something got crossed, and these things happen when you're putting on multiple shows at the same time. That is a very, very, very elementary take on what happened. Am I missing something?
No, that's correct. No,
all right.
Salacious. It was a routing. They got routed some of our stuff. We got routed some of their stuff, and the engineering team over here got it sorted, and all was well. Shout out to our fine folks at Yahoo who took care of it.
But if any of you are looking for a sloppy audio engineer, get at me.
Yeah.
It was Frank's fault, but I was trying not to say that, but he volunteered now.
Just send over the request.
I do feel bad for Frank. I felt like everyone just kind of blamed you off the jump.
Who the fuck is we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, after the show, I was like, man, my head hurts a little bit. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, you haven't been getting shit on in the chat for the last 4 hours. I was like, oh, all right. I'm sorry to hear that, Frank.
Yeah, it's listen, I'm going to tell you, Frank, we love you. We will forever back you. You are one of us.
Hit the who the fuck is we?
And we will never throw you under the bus, and we will never blame you, even if there is.
Who the fuck is we?
Even if there is an issue that is your fault. Even if there is an issue that is your fault, we will never blame you.
But it actually was not his fault. It was no one's fault.
No, it was not his fault.
Oh, hey, PT, how are you?
He's got himself muted. That was Frank's.
That was Frank's fault. That was Frank's.
What the
No, that was PT's fault.
physically unmuting himself.
Yes.
But Frank is very, very, like, you know, he's very on top of me with the mute button, you know? He's really, really rigorous in his mute button.
I know, because if you leak out over the air because you forgot to mute, everyone's going to blame Frank.
So he makes you, and then by association, he's at fault because he made you mute. I get that. I agree.
For what it's worth, Frank, I love you, and I think you're a magical, magical person.
Yes,
You know-
we all love you.
All this flattery just brings a smile on my face. Keep it coming.
Yeah, just don't fuck up again.
I'm
okay?
looking at him
It's
right
been
now.
a lot of-
He's not actually smiling.
It's
I
been
want
a-
someone to spice this.
It's been a ton of fuck ups.
We've always got your back
since
to one of the
launch.
moments where we didn't.
Bakri, Salut de Montréal. How does the fighter's entrance music selection work? Can they choose any songs they want? Does the UFC then have to go get the rights for these songs? Wouldn't that cost a fortune? How long in advance? Okay, it's a lot of questions here. Basically, they get to pick. In the past, Dana White has sometimes said don't like these songs, and or this particular song, and they've had to pick a new one. Or there have been some times where Dana has picked the song for the fighter, Lorenzo as well. I think they're a little less controlling when it comes to the music these days. My understanding is they don't have to get the rights. They don't have to clear it per se for the live, but for the replays they do. So that's why sometimes when you watch Fight Pass or a clip online or on YouTube, you'll hear some sort of generic track. It's awful because it very much is a generic track. It's like the guy's walking out to, I don't know, Run This Town by Rihanna, and then all of a sudden it's Aldo walking out to like bing, bum, 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 bing, boom. It's tough. It's actually legitimately tough. So yeah, so that is something they would have to pay for, but I don't believe for the live they do, or the the pay-per-view broadcast, the fight night broadcast, etc. And it's up to the fighters. There have been some classic. We actually debunked a myth. I believe it was it on the Boys in the Back where
The Halo?
On the Boys in
Yeah.
the Back.
yeah, the one of the most famous cases of this was, I think for the longest time we thought that Mike Perry asked for the Halo video game song,
Yep.
but then they gave him Halo by
Beyond.
Beyonce, and then in the walkout he's like, this is not what I asked for. And then I think on the Boys in the Back you guys revealed that in fact what we thought was the case actually isn't the case, right?
Yes, because he lost the fight. He never did the post-fight media. I can't believe this never came out, after that fact, but he never did the post-fight media. And it turns out he had submitted Halo and then changed to a different song, and then they played Halo. So he was rattled, but then delivered one of the best walkouts we've ever seen on the back of that.
Yeah. So thank you for debunking that, because I think everyone just ran with,
Halo video game, yeah.
or that they screwed him over, or that they screwed it up, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, they did mess it up. They
Sure.
just had it right from what he initially
Right.
submitted.
Ariel, War 135. I acknowledge you as my tribal chief. However, y'all got to start putting some respect on Cyborg's name. This is written by Rick. If there were a MMA Mount Rushmore, Cyborg would have to be on it. Please consider these 3 quick points. If Jones and Anderson are eligible, then she is eligible. She started in 2005, won a major title in 2009, and then won another major title 15 years later. She is 17-1 in title fights and 7-0 in title fights since her last loss. Compare that to Anderson, Aldo, or even Nunes, who is 2-0 since her last loss. You cannot tell the story of women's MMA at any point without mentioning Chris. Please give her the respect that she deserves. Who hasn't given her the respect that she
Preach,
deserves?
my brother.
What, I don't even know what is he talking about?
I will say,
Is he talking about like a full-on? Because I when I talk about Mount Rushmore, I do men and women.
Yeah.
Is he saying if there's one Mount Rushmore, she needs to be on there?
I guess so. But as somebody who agrees, I'll say it again. I have Chris Cyborg as my women's MMA GOAT. I know controversial. Most will say Amanda Nunes. We can have that debate another time. But I don't think the way that people attack Chris Cyborg's resume is that she hasn't been dominant. It's that the level of competition she faced at certain points throughout her career is not equivalent to others. Now, I would make the case that the dominance for that amount of time is kind of offsetting there. The head-to-head battle with Amanda Nunes that she lost is what a lot of other people will point to. These, I think, are the things that people poke holes in terms of, if you're trying to make the argument for one or the other, that's the direction to go. But I don't think anybody doubts Cyborg's dominance. As long as I've been watching MMA, Cyborg has been a staple and just been destroying the competition. And now we see her in the tail end of her career beating young, hungry, nasty, savage challengers like Larissa Pacheco. Like, she is a marvel of MMA. And I don't think anybody would deny that. I think the case that is made when you're trying to make a case for somebody else other than Cyborg is the level of competition. If you look down the resume, she did not face at all times the same level that would be existing in the UFC. But that is not her problem. That is not her fault. She is a 145-pounder. That division just doesn't really exist. As we saw, the UFC tried it. It just does not exist. But there are great fighters like Kayla Harrison, Larissa Pacheco. She got to fight Pacheco. She never got to fight Harrison. It just is what it is.
I'm seeing via social media here in the chat that I have drawn the ire of the Cobra Carl Froch. I haven't seen. Carl Froch has a very popular YouTube channel.
What did you do?
I think I haven't seen it because I'm just seeing it now that people are saying that he is mad at me, that he told me to keep my mouth shut. I guess it's because.
I imagine it was related to something with Jake Paul, but what? What could you have possibly?
Well, the only time I mentioned Carl Froch was when I said that in America, he's just not as well known as an American fighter, the people that Jake Paul is fighting right now. And I said that him and Tony Bellew, I don't remember when we were talking about this, but we were. And then I said that like he's one of those guys who, first of all, I have the utmost respect for Carl Froch. He's a freaking legend. Part of me kind of feels like, wow, I can't believe I was mentioned on the great Carl Froch's YouTube channel. Yeah. I've made it as a boxing pundit, even though he's calling me, I think, a total buffoon. Here's the thing: there's a bunch of people who do the gimmick of like, Jake Paul, you suck, you're a disgrace. You're a schmuck, you're ruining boxing, all this stuff and more. But please pick me, give me the lottery ticket. I'll beat you with one hand behind my back. So you do the thing where like you're above it and you would never lower yourself, but then you're saying, please, give me the chance to shut you up, and I'll do it for $100 million with one hand behind my back and both my legs tied. So like we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the payday. I get it. But just be honest about it. Just be like, yo, I'll give you a fight and I want the payday and it will be a great fight and I'll sell the shit out of it and that's it. So I think he's upset that I said that maybe in America, 80 or so thousand people supposedly may have seen him fight against Groves back in the day at Wembley Stadium. But, here in America, he probably doesn't sell out Hammerstein Ballroom. And that's not a shot. It's just some people. No, that's just some people are big in the UK and some people are big in America. That's like, is that a shot? I don't know. I mean,
no, it's not. I'm messing. I'm on you.
I was there. I love Tony Bellew, but like I was there. I saw it. No one reacted to him standing up. And again, I think that's what he's referring to here because everyone's saying, "Oh, the Cobra."
We're trying to listen to it, get sound on that, so we can.
Yeah, I'd love to react to it. We haven't had one of these in quite some time, but I think I've drawn the ire of the Cobra, which kind of feels like I've been like, have I been anointed? Is this a big moment for me, Pete?
Wait, it's incredible. And I mean, you even dropped his claim to fame when you were
80,000.
I don't know if you know, he fought in front of 80,000 people at Wembley Stadium, Carl Froch. He is, of course, a legend. He was also on the McGregor train, I believe, after the Mayweather fight, right? He was trying to get that one going as well. I understand what you're saying, though. Like, it is kind of hypocritical to be like, you're so terrible, fight me, former world champion.
I will do it. I will do it. Yeah. I will do it for the sport. I will do it for the... And I actually like his channel a lot. I think he's
doing great, yeah.
The stuff, really the good. Channel's good. The Q&A with his wife, they're a great duo. I'd like to have him on the show. Maybe we could debate it. I think
this is the way we get it done.
This is it.
Open forum, little debate between Ariel and Carl Froch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get Ade on. Be like one of them face-offs. Get Ade in the middle.
Oh, Ade in the middle. And you and Froch.
A face. But what is the issue? Do we know what the issue is?
GC's listening to it now for
You're
sound.
A buffoon, Ariel.
GC, tell us what the issue is. We don't know what we're talking about over here. We're boxing noobs. How dare we speak about the sweet science and ruin the sanctity of the sport? Is that
Turki
it?
Hat, by the way.
He uses the clip of you and Ade talking about Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. And,
okay, that's what I suspected.
Yeah. He just kind of reacts to it. Says you're talking bollocks. He's dipped his toe in MMA, but he would never talk about it. And says the inverse for you.
That I should keep my mouth shut.
You're a noob, Ariel.
I'm a noob. Hey, by the way,
did you see the thumbnail I sent? Useless clowns, and it's a picture of you.
Oh my god.
Nikisa.
Wow.
And Gareth.
What Gareth? Poor Gareth.
Poor Gareth.
What did Gareth be great when he sees this and he's just like useless clowns for boxing. He's like, let me go back to my producer, and he's wearing a fucking turkey hat.
A clown. First of all, Gareth. I mean, I don't know what Gareth said, but Gareth's been covering boxing forever. By the way, if it's on the Ade show, which, by the way, you can watch right now on the DAZN Boxing.
It was actually the Ariel Ade show with a picture of you from the MMA Hour.
What the fuck, guys?
It was just an MMA journalist, ArielHelwani, with the sounds.
No
credit to Ade, actually. Ade wasn't even mentioned.
He said, you don't know what you're doing. Maybe,
Yeah, Ade got no
return that. He doesn't have the shows right. He doesn't quite have it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take a shot of this.
Sounds like an amazing video.
A, get the show right. B, get the picture right. C, I want Ade's face on that thumbnail, too.
Ade's face needs to be on there, but... credit to Carl Froch, man. The setup is great.
Yeah, he's got a nice setup.
With the YouTube plaque in the background, and he's got the boxing belts, a couple nice bottles of tequila.
We must
good
make
production value.
We
Good
must make this
production
Can we
value.
drop a
happen.
link for Carl Froch's page? Just
Yeah,
in the comments?
shout out to Cobra Casino as well. I don't know if
Yes,
it's a real
shout out to
casino,
Cobra Casino.
but he always talks about it.
Good looking bloke, man. Straight across airline. He's doing well for himself.
Nah, he's doing great. But I'm actually more honored than anything that he's listening to my commentary. So anyway, if I offended him, well, I'm not really that apologetic because I don't really know what I said that would offend him. I guess he's mad at the notion that he.
You said that Carl Froch, Jake Paul does nothing in the States, and he
Yes.
begs to differ. He says it would be massive.
What? Okay, this is the issue? Then I'd gladly debate this. I'd gladly debate that. Carl Froch versus Jake Paul is a nothing burger fight here in the United States. Do you guys disagree?
No, I agree.
Nothing burger. People will be like, who? What? What YouTube channel is he on? And then you would direct him to the Froch on Boxing YouTube channel to be like, oh, is he another YouTuber? They just don't know. There's a difference between, British boxing, domestic dust-ups, if you will, and global boxing. At one time, he was a name in global boxing. I'm well aware. But in today's day and age, and you also have to understand the audience that Jake is tapping into. It's the same reason why I've even said it myself, and this is just, the facts in my opinion. Jake versus Jayo Pataya doesn't do as much as Jake versus KSI. Does anyone disagree with that?
No,
Like
that's very obvious to anybody.
these are different audiences. Anyway, I just hope when he talks about me, he talks about me as DAZN Boxing's ArielHelwani, because or you could just refer to me as Olympic host ArielHelwani, or 15-time, soon to be 15-time World MMA Award Journalist of the Year ArielHelwani, or Emmy Award winning ArielHelwani. I did get an Emmy for Sports Center in 2020. Who, me? One. Or Real Sports correspondent. I love when they try to whittle me down to just MMA journalists. I mean, we've been doing a little bit more. Or executive producer / executive editor of the global home of combat sports, Uncrowned.com. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. Anyway, much love. Peace and love. Carl, you're invited. Let's have a debate. How about this? Carl, we'll fly you into New York. You come here in studio. We'll debate whether or not Carl Froch versus Jake Paul puts more butts in seats than what? What are we talking about? What's the litmus? KSI versus Jake, or Jake Tommy 2, or I don't know. What's another one? Like all of the above.
All of the above.
What does more? What does more in 2025? Jake Canelo or Jake Carl Froch?
Oh, come on.
Jake versus. Is it a net like Jake Jayo Pataya, Jake Carl Froch?
I don't think there's really like a barometer for that, because I don't think those track. Like the and this is what I have. I mean, this has always been my point about the Jake Paul experience. The real top level boxers versus Jake Paul, I'm not particularly interested in that. I don't think the public is either.
Yeah.
Carl Froch is too good to fight Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's a strong demand, and the juice isn't necessarily worth the squeeze. Anyway, peace and love. By the way, we have that rower back there, and it looks so damn good. And I told you guys that we use it, but I actually want. What I say? Rower. Yes, of course, it's the bike. We have that brand new bike. It just came out. It's hot on the market, and I thought it would be fun maybe if we can actually put our money where our mouth is here. And,
Oh, you're going on it?
no, absolutely not. I can't. I got to do the
What?
show. But
We'll take over.
No, don't worry about it. We got it.
Me, Pizzi, and Rick while you go.
All right, Pete,
Yes.
you're hosting now.
Get with the Blanche here, and I'll just do it for the whole show. I'll
Listen.
be talking to you while I'm on the thing.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a minute, as the kids like to say, since we had an old school competition here on the program. And so since I'm talking about the games and all the cool functions and whatnot, GC looks revved and ready to go. Rick's on this fitness health kick. Why don't we do an old school GC versus Rick battle?
Because I'll smoke them.
GC's like an athlete at this stage. It's fucked up.
motherfucker.
He is a
Yeah, it's
freak.
not fair.
I'm in
It's-
jeans right now. I'm in. jeans and some dunks
You
right
got
now.
you got a hat on too.
Did you go to the gym today, GC?
Nah, we're recovering from an illness, so
Oh, yeah,
I have a built-in excuse for
Oh, here
lose.
comes the excuses already.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
That means
what do you guys
he's
say? What do you
fully
guys say?
rested and he
I'm in.
Gets on the.
I'm in.
Okay.
Who goes
I'm
first?
in.
What are the stipulations? GC versus Rick. What are we doing? 1 minute sprint, 30-second sprint, 2 minute sprint,
No. 1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute
not 2
sprint.
minutes,
Not 2
I'm in
minutes. That's a
jeans.
lot.
Okay,
That's
1 minute sprint, 60-second sprint.
8-2. I mean,
Who could get the higher output?
Yeah, I think that. GC, you in?
yeah, dude, are you kidding me?
Okay, who's going first?
I'll go first.
I was going to do coin toss. You're just going in.
You have a coin?
No, I don't, but I was
What
going to
is it,
find something.
1986?
I was going to find
What is
something.
it, just loose
All right, how about
change
this?
over there?
Let's.
I have a number
Figure
from
it
one,
out.
one number from 1 to 2. Rick, you go first.
Number from 1 to 2. 1.
Wrong. GC, you go.
1.
No.
All right, I'm going first.
Yeah, gee, there you both sound.
I love this.
All right.
All right, Rick goes
Rick,
first.
you go
I'll go
first.
I'll go first.
Let's follow Rick.
You set the tone, and then I can just beat it. Big Tour
Da-na-na-na-na.
de France
Rick.
guy. That's how it
Go
goes
on,
in like
lad.
the time trials.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Let's be having you, Rick.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Oh!
Oh, look at that
Oh,
shot.
there he is!
Look at that shot. And there he goes. Yes.
Oh, he's got the sweats on.
By the
I
way,
am-
is Rick wearing track pants?
Yeah, I'm
What?
I'm fucked here.
It's the day before. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so I was like, I'm gonna come in casual.
This is
By the way, PT, what do we make of the track pants? The Adidas
I
three
love
stripe
them, man.
special.
They look so comfortable and also athletic.
this is
I have to say,
fantastic.
Every
Yes.
time I get on the bike, I
19s
can
on for
never
the-
Oh,
get
look
my
at this
left
shot.
foot in.
Look at this shot. GoPro shot.
All right,
Rick's POV.
what's up,
here.
baby?
Yo, this
All right,
is
here we go.
incredible. By the way,
Look great,
I'm
Rick.
praying to God that there are people in that come off. There's people right over there.
You can see people
Everybody's
in the
right
background.
here.
Yes, this is
Everybody's
amazing.
wait,
Okay.
hold on. We're actually going.
Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
3, 2, 1.
60 seconds on the board. Full steam ahead.
Shit,
New York
I forgot
Rick
to change the resistance.
on the
Still
bike.
can.
It looks like Guitar Hero.
Yeah. By the way, why would you want to put the resistance up? You'd want to
Because
make
I can get more output if I'm.
Oh, that's a good
if I'm
point.
pressing
Oh,
harder.
What is
Right.
the parameter? Like, do we have a number? What number are we looking for?
There's an output.
He's about to set a number, and then I have to beat it.
Okay.
All right, let's go, Rick. Let's go. What are we at time-wise? Give us an update.
37.
37.
Look at the hips going on this guy.
I mean, look at that speed. Look at that form. He's looking like a young Floyd Landis. Not quite Lance Armstrong just yet, but very Landis-esque.
I
How are
I
you
should have
feeling?
put the resistance higher.
What are you feeling? What are you feeling right now?
Nothing.
How's the cardio?
Good.
Sounds
Too
like you're-
good.
Too good. Okay, what are we at? Time-wise.
10 seconds.
10, 9,
Come on, Rick.
8.
Come on, boy.
Push.
Come on,
7,
man.
6,
Have it.
5. Come on, dig deep. Dig deep. 4, 3. All right, that was it. What do we get?
11.9.
11.9. Okay, so what's the mistake? What did you do?
Too low resistance. It
Too
was
low.
Easy.
Look how tired he is.
Wow, he's breathing like a motherfucker. I'm kind of nervous now. Look
Look
at
at-
him.
he's
He's coming
pissed.
out like a champ.
I think he's actually pissed.
11.9. I'm going to absolutely smoke this.
All right,
gonna kill
you're
it.
up. You're
Are
up.
you going now? You go now, GC.
Yeah, you go now.
I'll wait for Rick to get back in there, huh?
No,
And
just
to be
go.
fair-
Just go ahead.
to
Go
be
ahead.
fair, like just
All right, one more
I've
second.
actually seen Ariel has this rower in his gaff as well. When I was in
All right,
his gaff,
11.9. That's the number to beat.
Yep, that's the number to beat. Output 11.9. 60 seconds on the board. What are we putting? What are we putting the line at right now?
Huge mistake.
Well, tell us.
GC minus like 500.
Look, you're kind of out of breath though. Some people are saying that you need Austrian.
Sprint, dude. Like,
It was a sprint.
what did I do
It's
to you?
Is it the gout? Was it the gout that was?
Look
holding
at
you
that.
back?
He throws off the jacket. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The man in the arena. Here he comes.
Okay. Here's the thing. Very good point. I want to give a shout out to Plus Money MMA. GC, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Plus Money MMA says that you should put it on the same resistance as Rick.
Oh, wow. 30 resistance. That's what he was on?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I think.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, GC?
Yeah, sure. I guess that works.
11.9 is what you have to beat.
Yeah. I just need a second to. I just got to reset it. We have a whole production.
You get a
team
warm
back
up,
here.
huh?
They're just sleeping on the job.
Okay. Are you nervous? How are you feeling?
No, I'm not nervous at all. Jeans. I don't know what camera is looking at me right now. But
No, GoPro.
GoPro. We're right
GoPro?
on you.
Let's go. Let's get right up in this thing.
Yeah.
Dominate him.
It's so good. It's so freaking good.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
Okay.
Look how easy this thing is, man.
It's a-
The interface.
look at that. You see all the
interface
games?
is just absolutely so easy. I just switched to my profile.
Aviron makes it seamless, man.
We love our friends
It
over
is.
at
It is
Aviron.
kind of addicting, and it's pretty fun.
All right, here we go. Lightning lap. We're going to go 2 laps. We're going to go 1 minute.
Yes.
And just like that. You see how easy that is? All right, so I have to keep this at 30 resistance?
That's
Feels like
You don't
I
have
think
to.
that's
You don't
fair.
have to.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Lesson learned. I
In the
messed
interest
up.
of fairness.
This feels like a
in the interest
critical
of
area.
fairness.
In the chat right now, give us the odds. Some people are saying
Oh, this
minus
is too easy.
1,000 for GC right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and we're off. All right, we're off. How are we
It's on
feeling
Bo
early
Nickel
on?
numbers
Oh, I
here.
feel fucking great. I mean, prime Lance Armstrong right here. Tadej Pogacar, for
on
those
EPO.
that know.
He's on EPO, lads. It's so obvious.
Are you
Look,
pacing yourself? Because it feels like Rick
There
is
is no
going
pacing.
harder.
This is a 1 minute sprint, man. This is easy money right here. I'm already at 5.7. I'm absolutely leaving this
Oh
dude
my
in the
God.
fucking dust.
5.7.
What was it, 11.9?
Yes.
Oh my God. 30 seconds in, I'm already at 8. This is over. This is
Keyless
is Jake
Jr.
Paul,
is
Mike
saying
Tyson.
That he hopes Rick loses.
whew, 23 miles an hour right now. I could be on the freeway.
Take your foot and stick it on his neck. Just stick it.
The resistance was
There it
too
is.
low. I
15
was going
seconds
too
to go.
fast.
We're already at 11.9.
Wow. Rick, your thoughts. You're fuming right now.
The resistance was too low. I was going too.
Oh, we're going to
fast.
get to 15.
Yeah, I know.
I was getting to 20 in practice on 50. The resistance.
Oh, 15.3.
Are you going to double him
He's
up?
done it.
There he is. 15.
job, GC.
Wow.
I'm not even breathing heavy.
I'm going back. Hold
Hey,
on.
listen.
No.
Winner
Rematch.
learns.
walking
Winner
through the
learn.
fucking
Winner
party
learn.
right
Winner
Rematch.
learn.
Maybe you know what? Maybe rematch later in the show or next week.
Nah, save it for next week.
All right. I love
but
this.
I'm now having seen his output. I'm fairly confident that I'm gonna like destroy him.
I've made a critical error. Rick warned me to bring my wallet, and I forgot it. And now I'm
Oh, now you're
I'm
stuck
not inclined
outside.
to get him.
now I'm
Yeah,
locked out of
no,
the
leave
studio.
it outside.
honestly not
Leave it
inclined to
outside,
get him.
Frank. It's an amateur move right there. Oh, someone's helping him out.
Look at this.
Shout
Look
out
at
to
this
Tyler.
production team.
Tyler. Yeah, shout out to Tyler. Leave him out there, Tyler.
He's staying. He's staying. Yeah, big mistake on my part. My legs were actually going too fast. It was not. There was no resistance. It was bad mistake by me.
Can I just make
Win and learn.
Can I just make a comment right now?
Yeah.
I think I would double both of you up.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
The bike's still ready.
Yeah. Maybe
Let me hop back on there with 50. I'm gonna crush.
50 is tough, man.
Nah. 50.
Both
50
of them are kind of out of breath. Right?
15.3 the number to beat now?
I mean,
50
it's a sprint. They're gonna
50
be
is
hard.
tough.
Out of
but you
breath,
want,
man. I just walked
you
through the
want
park.
it to be tough.
I'm not even breathing right now.
It was too easy that the legs. His strategy was actually smarter. Pacing was actually better. But on 50, you can
15.3 the
metal.
number to beat.
next week destroyed.
It's like you're interviewing someone after they fought.
I
do you know what
freaking love it.
You know, it's
He should have been able to pick any resistance he wanted though. That's not
I could have gone to 70 and like
Should've
maybe
gone
I could have put up a number if you let me get on 100 resistance.
same.
You would have seen these
Listen.
thighs come out. I would have started churning.
Next week, when we get the rematch, I think it would be cooler if both of you pick whatever resistance you want, and because you're both now coming out with these theories. This should have been better. This
Yeah.
should have been better, and we'll see. Round 2
I'm going to start blood doping.
next week. AvironActive.com/uncrowned. It's a tremendous time. There are that's tip of the iceberg stuff right there. Great people, great product. The bike, the roar, the treadmill to come. Thank you so much to them. And that's one of my favorite segments in the history of the show. And I can't wait for next week now. Wednesdays just got better here on the program. Back to the questions. Ben P, some quick fire questions for you guys. True or false, Merab fights Umar next for the title? I say true. Anyone disagree?
I think so.
Okay. Did everyone go home?
I think they were just chatting about
Okay.
just experience.
no, we all agree. We agree.
Okay. How about this? If you guys disagree, just speak up. Gun to your head. Who does Sean O'Malley fight next?
Umar.
Wait, Sean
Jan.
O'Malley?
Oh, sorry. Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. True or false, Conor McGregor fights in 2025 given the recent news?
No.
You think no? Not even back end?
No.
Yeah, tough one. I'll go with you. True or false, Tom Aspinall's next fight is against John Jones? I say yes.
Yes.
And lastly,
These answers from PT.
who will have fought in the UFC again before the end of 2025? Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, or both? Masvidal. I think Masvidal might come back in the spring. P.S. Shout out to the boys in the back who do a great job of previewing the upcoming fights and always increase my interest/excitement levels.
No problem, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt. Shalom, Ariel. Often you have reacted to MMA and sporting events to provide some brilliant and viral takes. However, last Thursday we were blessed with what seemed like 90 minutes straight of GC Frankie and NYG discussing gout in what was probably the funniest show this has ever been. My question is, when you gave these boys their own show, did you have any idea that within a few weeks it would just be pumping out nonstop content and Rick's long hidden condition? Yes, absolutely. I wanted them to have a show in the previous era as well, and we're just scratching the surface. So yes, I love it.
Is gout itchy? Is that what you're referring to?
I don't know what it is. I'm just, I'm bummed that we're not getting another show tomorrow. But no, it's thanks.
No. We can re-rack if you want us to.
We're lucky we're getting a show today, man.
Yeah,
Wednesday before Thanksgiving is a national holiday.
Yeah, listen,
you kicked off the show. You were like, something going on in the United States of America. It appears that the Wednesday before is just beginning to be a holiday. It's always been a holiday. I rode in today. It was completely empty.
Yeah, it was great.
There was not a soul on the road.
It feels like everyone's just, okay, so tell me, what's Friday?
Black Friday.
Friday.
What do you mean?
No, but is that a holiday or is that just
It's a holiday
Of course,
for
it's a whole. You get the 5 days to spend time with family. Be thankful,
Why waiting in line for a doorbuster?
I'm not in support of this Wednesday holiday stuff.
Yeah, I think
Oh
that's
yeah, crazy. This is where we draw the line.
Yeah.
This is grinders versus sub sandwiches here.
Kenny, aloha Ariel, 12 days removed from Tyson versus Paul. Has it fully soaked in that over 100 million people globally who hadn't been exposed to your career yet have now seen you work and know who you are? Have you taken a moment to reflect on how far you've come? Has the dynamic changed between you and your kids, classmates, parents, and others who weren't previously aware of your success? Happy Thanksgiving, Ariel and crew. Not really. I mean, and if you would probably ask the likes of Carl Froch, it was a black eye on my career. So, it's something that I am very regretful that I was a part of. It's one of the darkest days in my life. No. I mean, it was incredible. 100 or so million people, 70,000 people in attendance, Netflix getting to be on a platform like that, working with legends like Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr., who I never worked with before, Mauro Ranallo, Katie and Amanda, and the whole thing was a great time. And like I said, the behind-the-scenes production was what was most impressive to me. How organized they were, how on the ball they were with everything, how buttoned up everyone was. It was really, really impressive. Would love to do it more. Would love to be a part of more of those events. Obviously, who wouldn't? It was one of the highlights of my career, dare I say. Life, dare I say. Jordan, hey Ariel, last week you talked about road trips with the boys in the back. As a fan, not as a media member, but as a fan, do you have any memorable sports-based road trips you took with family or friends? Probably my most, so there's a few that come to mind. When I went to No Mercy in 2000 in Albany to watch Kurt Angle beat The Rock, October 22nd, 2000, I talked about that being a day that my friends and I always celebrate. My friend Jason Tackman and I, who's probably watching this right now, what's up, Tack? We drove on a Saturday, Montreal to Toronto, which is like a 6.5 or so hour drive, watched Blue Jays versus Cleveland, and then went to eat. I think we went to a wings place. Remember, he's the guy that I said that I would pay good money to watch him eat wings. It's just very entertaining. And then we drove back home, same day. So it was a collective probably 13 hours of driving. Didn't sleep in a hotel, back and forth. He drove the entire way, back and forth, which I kind of felt bad about, but like...
What a monster.
Yeah, he's a beast. That was a memorable one. Another memorable one was when I went with my family recently for my 40th birthday, when we went to the Blue Jays playoff game and then also the Bills-Steelers game in Buffalo. That was a very memorable one. There have been others, but those are three that come to mind.
I'm surprised you didn't say Spurs, Ariel, with the lads.
Well, that doesn't feel like a road trip. I mean, we got on a plane for that one. Is that a road trip?
Of course it is, yeah.
Remember when we
It's
went
not-
to AEW? That was fun.
That was fun, but was that a road trip? I mean, I feel like a road trip has to be like outside of where you live.
Well, you don't live in London, mate. I don't. Need
Yeah,
to
no, but
break
that's a
it to you.
plane.
You don't live in Queens either.
That's a plane trip. They were all
Come
fun. Marcelo, Ariel, do you play chess? What's your win-loss record between you and the boys in the back? Who is the best player? According to Aura, match each member of the team to a chess piece. I play chess a little bit. My kids like it. My wife is incredible at it. but I would say like in the family, I'm probably the worst, and that includes my daughter. Any big chess players here?
You know, I own a set. I dabble here and there, but I'm probably the worst on the group here.
You think so?
Dude, I tried to get into it for the minute. I took a master class on it and everything. Like, I know how to play and, like, I can hold my own, but, man, I would go above, like, 800 level or something on the computer, and they would just run through me.
I feel like Rick's a big chess guy.
I used to play. Now my 7-year-old daughter is learning.
Yeah, it's fun when you play with kids.
Yeah, because you can
Impressive.
beat their ass, right?
Because you can cheat. They don't know better. Yeah.
No. The rook goes anywhere it wants. Come on now, sweetie.
Yeah, it moves every direction.
My pawn it's able to go diagonally.
You see the horse? It pops over people.
Rick's just an MTG guy now.
Yeah, he is.
Shout out.
What is that?
Arena. Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
I'm on
jeez.
Arena.
Minnesota.
Sometimes we're sitting talking about the show, and you look over at Rick. It's kind of like sometimes when we look over, I'm like, man, GC's just grinding over there. He's just grinding.
The memes are just
And then he's
popping
just,
out.
I'm like, oh, he was just
And then 10 minutes later,
making like 45 memes. So now we look over at Rick like, man, that Rick, he's really going above and beyond. And then you look at his phone, and he's playing Magic the Gathering.
a very brief story here. We were filming a fight feast, me, Rick, and Frank, and we were on the way back to the office from the fight feast, and me and Frank are walking, and it was like Rick was like a dog on a leash behind us. We are walking through the crowded streets of Manhattan, and he did not look up from his phone one single time. And I was like, Rick, man, you got to get off the phone. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm in the middle of an MTG Arena game. And I was like, dude, get it
Guiding him
together,
through the
man.
Here's the thing. I'm a free-to-play player, meaning I don't pay money to like get extra things on it. I only grind out stuff. I've got to get 15 wins so I can get the coins from that every single day.
Sound like an addict, right?
And so I'm definitely addicted. So I find like little pockets. Walking down the street in Manhattan, that's a perfect pocket to get 1 or 2 games in.
He was taking a Ford
Shout out
Escort
my
to
new
the
deck.
hip
My new
just
deck
to get
is
his coins.
crushing right now.
Do you
My
know
new
what would be
deck is so
insulting?
sick.
Is the person that you beat if they knew that you were just walking down the streets.
His
of
neck is
Manhattan.
craned, too.
Here's the real tragedy that happens. When I'm on the Long Island Railroad and I'm pulling into Penn and I've got somebody beat and then the internet cuts out and they think they got one on me because I disappear from the game and I was actually going to crush them, that hurts my soul. They need to know how superior I am and how superior my deck is.
Keep coming back, Rick.
But shout out to the Wizards of the Coast. Shout out to MTG and all my players out there.
Oh, yeah.
So sick.
the
Wizzies on the
Watsy.
coast. Those are my guys.
Wizards of the Coast, baby. Shout out.
I'm trying to do this, but with like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh!
Here's the next
The
move.
question was about chess, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the Aviron bike
Nerdy shit.
in the house. We're gonna be on that. These days I'm on the elliptical playing MTG. We're gonna get the Aviron bike in the house. I'll be on the bike with the MTG.
I bet you could get it full screen on there. They got all the games.
Maybe I can connect it. We'll see.
A couple of rapid fire super chat questions. Jonah Friedman asks, when is the Costco Guys X? How do you say X? How do you say the X?
X.
Okay, Fight Feast collab, or did you just say Costco Guys Fight Feast collab happening? Can we get a
They're too
mini
big for
audition
us.
from GC to become CGGC?
CGGC.
Costco Guys.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, that would be incredible, but they're too big for us, man. They're out of our league.
Yeah, you never know.
It'd be incredible.
All right, well, that sounds like you're in. AZ Ray Videos, will you interview Lorenz Larkin since he's a free agent now? I think Karate Combat would be a great home for him. Sure. I mean, and I do agree with that. Karate Combat would be a very fun fit for him. Gabriel L., did Turki ever really try to bring you and Dana White together as mentioned on that one interview? I don't know if he tried, but I can tell you it didn't happen. And I could tell you, like, there was no discussion of it happening other than what went on in the, in the interview that you guys saw. So I can't speak to whether or not he tried. I never asked him. I never followed up and said, hey, are you actually going to try to do that? But I could just tell you that nothing ever came of it after the fact. It was never brought up afterwards. Aquiles Jr., Frank, you're the best.
Brings a tear to my eye.
That's it. And then
Nothing for me from Achilles Jr. That's surprising.
There was while
Okay.
you guys were on the bike. I
Shut
read
up.
it out loud, but it was ignored.
Well, here's something from Robert McAllister. New York Rick is the spitting image of Felipe Machado on the Mikey Musumeci versus Felipe Machado promo poster. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Love from Scotland. Wow.
I've gotten this guy and the Master
Yo,
Chef
wait a
guy
second.
from last.
How the hell did you guys have that
the
so
Master Chef
quickly?
guy.
This
Jordan's on fire.
actually
Jordan,
looks
how
like
did
Rick
you have
with
this?
gout.
Jordan, how did you have this so quickly? Did you
How
read the
did you
question
have
in advance?
There's my guy.
Okay.
That's it.
Gavin.
Like,
Gavin. Gareth Crimmins. Shout out to.
I'm pretty
shout
sure
out to
that's
Gareth
you,
Crimmins.
to be honest, Rick.
Pretty
sure that's
here
you.
and there.
I didn't tell you guys, but I was on MasterChef. I did professional too. So Jordan has some competition here with the
Gareth Crimmins.
Nice.
Gareth.
This sounds like
Crimmins,
a
baby.
fake name.
No, Gareth Crimmins.
This sounds like a name Rick made up so he could have a double life as a master chef over in UK.
By the way, Aquiles Jr. also added that he hopes you lose the bike challenge.
Well, he already lost,
Wow.
so your wish is my
I think,
command.
yeah. I don't know.
I said it in the middle of.
I'm not convinced GC didn't pump up the resistance, but we're gonna have to go back to the tape.
Yeah,
Achilles Jr.
Could we get a replay? Is
We're
there
gonna have to
an
go back to
instant
the
replay?
tape. We're gonna have to go back to.
You'll have your chance next week, man.
We have to go back to.
Tech is actually throwing out a pretty good suggestion. Can we get a ref next time for the bike challenge?
Yeah, for sure.
Who could be the ref?
Was that not you?
Someone laying around the office.
PT, can you
Fly
fly
me.
in next week? Can you and Carl Froch fly in? Can you pick him up on the way?
I need to get Ade as well to do the
Yeah,
face-off. We can all go
exactly.
in together.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be
On the PJ.
fantastic. Oh, that's a great idea. Ade doing the face-off.
You
Ice.
and Ade will do the face-off between you two, and then halfway through it, Carl will be like, wait a minute, your voice sounds familiar. You were the one in the clip with Ariel talking
Yes.
shit.
All right. Rick just said to check my Slack, but I don't see anything. Is it about the phone number?
Yes,
Yeah, no big deal. We'll deal with that later. Ice.
that wasn't to air before.
Oh, all right. I couldn't tell. Just want to chime in and say Frank the Tank.
Look at that. They're all coming out of the woodwork. I need to stop paying for these. So, it's starting to make me feel guilty.
Derek the Dad. What happens first, Tom John or Connor Chandler? Tell you Tom John. Right?
Yes, Tom John.
I got a kick out of the fact that yesterday, we clip off the like little moments, and we do such a great job of that while we're doing the show. Shout out to the big man Spence, and there was a conversation about the bare knuckle event coming up on January 25th, and we mentioned Connor and like the story of it all coming together, and people are like, "Oh, so this is what you're talking about?" Like, how much more? You cannot. I saw someone else, a great media pundit in the MMA world, being like, "No commentary on Uncrowned about the Conor McGregor situation." PT, Ben, and Chuck were live literally for an hour, minutes after the verdict. We've talked about it on the show multiple times. We've had multiple articles, like the critics, the media critics weighing in. Oh, I bet you won't talk about this, or I bet you won't say that, or I bet you won't do that, or I bet you guys won't go there, or I bet you won't editorialize. Like, shoot me in the head. Shoot me in the head. So yes, it was mentioned, but I think we have covered it. And there, you could do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours on this. And we're trying our best, and it continues to evolve. And I could tell you the only real update, I did check in today, and the only real update since yesterday, PT, correct me if I'm wrong, you have your finger on the pulse, and you're right there, is the statement, quote unquote, Instagram stories from his fiancee, Dee Devlin. That's the only real, like from a business standpoint or from an appeals standpoint, nothing new has happened since yesterday, yes?
Well, the only thing I did talk to you earlier about this, they have moved the hearing, which was meant to take place on Thursday, to decide who was paying the lawyers' fees. That was meant to happen Thursday, Thanksgiving for you guys, but they've pushed that back to a later date. It's a big subject of intrigue in Ireland at the moment because Conor's tweets, he said a lot of controversial things pertaining to the court, pertaining to the decision. So the judge can react to that in that moment. We're expecting it to be tomorrow, but it has been pushed back to a date that has yet to be decided. So that's the next big date, and it will be to decide who is paying which fees. As we know, Conor McGregor's been found liable for the sexual assault of Nikita Hand, but James Lawrence hasn't. So we need to have that explained. Does that mean Nikita Hand is on the hook to pay James Lawrence's fees? Or is it that the jury saw their side, saw Nikita's side of the story being accurate, in which she claimed that James Lawrence was a patsy? So we need to see this play out. And obviously, Dee Devlin's comments met with enormous scrutiny in Ireland yesterday.
Yes, I will read those on the back end. And we can continue to talk about this, and we'll get to a few more of the questions as well, because, well, the bike challenge took up a lot of time. Although we did get to 18, so that's actually more than I thought we got to. So well done, and I will get to more super chats as well. So stick around. This is from Derek the Dad after a big Thanksgiving feast. Will Frank
Please finish this. I've spent my last 2 Thanksgivings with Frank. I can answer this.
Will Frank finally fart in front of his wife?
Oh man. Was this a real question?
Yes. Have you never farted in front of your wife?
Do you not watch Boys in the Bed?
Yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love how you chime in just at the wow. I think we broke Ariel with it.
Yeah, he's never farted in front of his wife.
I haven't seen this question. Can you ask it again?
Why do you want me to ask it again?
Okay.
By the way,
let's actually go.
I don't know if this is healthy. I think
let's
you
go behind
should
the
fart in
scenes.
front
My
of your
doctor
wife.
has shamed me about it. They're like, bro.
Whenever I'm at a restaurant with Frank,
how did this come up with your doctor? What was the conversation?
I was having abdominal pain.
Oh my God!
This is insane.
Oh
Frank,
my
just let
God,
it be known
Frank.
for a
Did you
decade.
guys not listen to the episode that I was on with you?
How-
You have to
how-
do that.
How did I become the gout guy? This guy's having an abdominal pain because he can't fart in front of his wife, and I'm somehow. I mean, this is out of control.
Frank the fart ripper, except he doesn't rip any farts.
Out of control.
Every time I'm at a restaurant with Frank, after we're done eating, he beelines to the bathroom, and now I know why. I thought he just had digestive issues. It's just so he can go to the bathroom.
As
and
if
fart.
farting is not a digestive issue.
No, it's a natural thing.
See,
Frank.
I haven't gotten the update on.
Oh, it's hurting. My
What happened
stomach.
last year when we waited so long? Me and Frank went to a Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant last year, and he was like, I gotta have cognac with my dessert. I must have a glass of cognac, and it took like 45 minutes
They were like,
for that shit to show up. I was like, "Where the fuck is the cognac, Frank? We gotta get out of here, man. We've been here for 3 hours."
Do you remember the Devils game the day after?
Oh my god, yeah. Then we went to the Devils the next day, and I
waited
bided,
45 minutes.
yeah, I bided too much in the Thanksgiving cocktails. Was not feeling so good. Missed
Oh.
the entire Devils game.
Wow, the doctor. This is crazy.
Anyway, is that a yes or a no, Frank?
I have not done it. I mean, I
I'll
can't
find out.
account
I'll be
for-
with him again this year.
I can't account for when I'm asleep or whatever. I get a freebie there.
Have you ever woken up
Frank
your wife
wakes up
by farting?
angry because it happened overnight.
Alessio,
Pissed at
I got to get it together because Brian Battle's coming on in 10 minutes, and I'm like
Is he?
crying.
I mean, we don't know. Is he?
By the way, Alessio says Frank's list is just a list of his favorite foods.
I mean, this has become the theme on Boys in the Back. We do, Christmas list, Halloween list, Thanksgiving list, and Frank just gives the, I'll do it anytime. That's the gimmick. Like
I was
Frank-
waiting him to kick off the Thanksgiving list with, these foods are great at Thanksgiving, but I'll eat them year round.
I read between the lines.
Number 5, French's mustard.
Hot dogs.
By the way, can we acknowledge the fact that on, I think, Saturday, I texted the group and said, hey, guys, lots to be thankful for, lots to be grateful for. Let's go out for Friendsgiving, excuse me.
Thanksgiving. I love it. Let's do it.
By the way,
This is my favorite day. Got in your head, didn't I? Yeah, it sucks, huh?
Franksgiving is a tremendous idea.
Should we just only call it Franksgiving?
No, because you guys always say I don't like to do stuff, and I feel like I've actually tried to be proactive in the new era, and I got met with I got met with crickets.
Me and you are still
What
going.
crickets?
Me and you are
Crickets.
still going.
No one chimed
I
in.
said
No
yes.
one waited.
No,
Why,
time
why
out,
does he
time
make
out.
up these lies
Time
when
out.
we have the text?
No one
right
chimed.
here?
Everyone, and then
I said yes.
you did say yes.
I also
I said
said
yes.
I'm down.
It was a very sort
also
of
said
like,
yes.
I hope he forgets about this and we can all leave. And,
No, see,
and
here's the
beat
real
rush.
sign. When you said oh no pressure, guys, like, I'm just feeling like this is, maybe a little too much right now.
Oh, that was last night. Well, we
Yeah.
were walking wounded last night.
First of all, one, that was you just clearly not wanting to go anymore.
I would
Two,
be
as
glad
soon
to
as
go.
you dropped that, everybody jumped on it except for me because I'm willing to go. I mean,
That's
we're,
true. Everyone
we're
was like,
still
"Oh,
on,"
great.
But everybody was like, great.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Nobody can commit, except for me. That's okay though.
I literally.
I'll always be there for
Can't.
you guys.
I actually think Frank was the one that started that yesterday. He's like, yeah, so about Friendsgiving.
He
You remember
did.
it was like, while we're on disappointing
Yeah.
subjects.
He did, but he is also the one who I think is the sickest. So he gets an excuse.
I'm not sick, dude. What are you talking about?
El Torito 94
Appreciate that
says, Sup
mentality.
crew, let's hear your guys' best turkey gobble for Thanksgiving. Keep up the great content. No one wants to hear
I need
that.
This is
somebody
all
to
Frank.
do it first, and
This
then I
is all
can
Frank.
replicate it, but I can't do it just like off rip.
Oh, God. All right. Just want to chime in and say Frank the Tank. That was ice. I read that one. I think there's only one other one. Oh, this is from Keto Kai. Yo, when we getting big hitters back? GC, we got to know, one of my favorite segments.
Yeah, I need to bring it back. I still have all the graphics and everything for it, and I still get sent a bunch of slips. I just haven't been able to do anything with them. Just got to figure where I put it.
Okay.
Who's in the bag?
Yeah, I mean, feels like a natural spot for it now.
All right. Point taken, man.
Do you think we ever get Canelo versus Benavidez? Asks Hitman 600. In my opinion, this is by far a worse duck job than John and Tom. I'd love to weigh in, but I'm not a boxing pundit. I mean,
so now you're not a wrestling guy.
I'm not a wrestling
boxing guy.
I'm not a wrestling guy. When I started in 2007, I wasn't an MMA guy either. I mean,
right.
By the way, was Jim Lampley a boxing guy when they took him from ABC Wide World of Sports and put him on boxing?
We'll never know. There's no way to find out.
Was Howard Cosell a boxing guy when he went from being a lawyer to a media guy? Was Mauro Ranallo a boxing guy when he went from pro wrestling, kickboxing, MMA to boxing? I mean, who is a boxing guy? Other than the fighters, of course, they're boxing guys. Like you have to be starting from some spot, right? So I always find that very funny when like, you're not a boxing guy, stick to boxing. Meanwhile, you go on Carl's page and he's doing a post UFC 308 reaction. Are you an MMA guy, Carl? Is that allowed? Why the double standard? Why the double standard?
We just need the collab.
I always love when people do the charity thing. Are you telling me right now? Carl? Are you telling me right now you will not take a dime if you fight Jake Paul? Is that what he's saying? You listen to it, GC. Is he saying he would not take a dime to fight Jake Paul? He's going to do it for the good of the game. Is that what he is saying? Is that what he's implying?
That's what he said. Correct. Everything would go to charity.
Do you believe him?
I don't know.
No, I don't believe him.
The Cobra?
I don't believe the Cobra. He's going to take no money for this. No sponsorship. He's not going to pocket $1.
Is he really even going to fight him?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, if it does come to fruition, I don't believe for a second that he would do it for only charity. Maybe a part of it goes to charity, maybe a portion, maybe he donates something to charity. He is not doing this out of the kindness of his heart. I don't buy it. Call me crazy, call me a hater, call me a naysayer. And, it's the same thing that I was talking about back in the day with some other people. It's the loudest dissenters of this Jake Paul thing who profit off of it the most. You look at their YouTube channels and every video is about Jake Paul. Oh, this is disgraceful, because they like to pander to the audience that typically feels this way but consumes it the most. It's like the old Howard Stern thing where like the quote unquote haters of Howard Stern, they would listen to his show double the amount of time as his quote unquote fans. And so they profit off of it in that regard. They love it. They want him to stick around. And they also blindly ignore everything that he is doing for boxing. Not a popular stance to take. I don't mind. I don't care. But if you tell the story of Jake Paul and MVP and ignore what they have done for Amanda Serrano, what they have done for Shadeja Green, what they have done for other fighters who have worked under their umbrella, H2O Silv, I know coming off a loss, Lucas Body beats him. Now he has been signed to the promotion, and others. I think you're being disingenuous. Could we go back to a couple more questions, and then we'll call it a day? How about that? Nick Hammer. We'll go back to the questions here over at ArielHelwani.
That's a real name. That's very strong. Nick Hammer just sounds like a
lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. Strong name.
Ariel, let's talk PFL for a second. All right, let's do it. After the tape delay betting fiasco of a couple of years ago, PFL Europe being not watchable in America, hype of Jake Paul signing diminished, no opponent for Francis Kalagon, Dawn being unrealistic, and the only halfway decent cards being on pay-per-view. How do you see their future going now compared to when they signed Jake and Francis at the time? When they signed Francis Ngannou, I never said this was a game changer per se. I think that there's this misnomer that I'm like Mr. PFL. I think I've been quite critical of them. I don't think they should ever be in the pay-per-view business. They don't have that roster. I was critical of PFL and their model when I was at ESPN, and they were on ESPN. And Rick can tell you that's a big no-no. And I was saying, I don't like the season format. Just make the best fights. Make the best fights, have the best roster, build stars that way. The season format just doesn't do it for me. Is it fun in a vacuum? Oh, it's a championship. Great, yes, love it. But overall, I don't think you can build a fight league that way. It didn't work for IFL. I don't think it ultimately will work for PFL. And their biggest fight cards have been non-tournament cards, the ones in Paris, the one in Riyadh, etc. They need to do a better job selling tickets. You need to build stars to sell tickets. They're paying a lot of money, especially this weekend, right? On Friday, $1 million purses, that's a lot. If you're not selling tickets now, obviously the Saudi cards are a little bit different, but they're starting to move towards those cards more. The Dubai deal in January, ultimately, here's what I think is going to happen. 2025 is going to be a gigantic, dare I say, make or break year for PFL. ESPN deal is coming to an end. Let's see where they go from there. And obviously, whatever UFC and ESPN do is going to be a huge development as well. One of the biggest stories of the year, if not the biggest to watch come next year. That and probably the future of Conor McGregor. But on a larger business scale, it's that one, the former. What are they going to do with all these Bellator guys? Are they going to try to combine the two? It's not that easy. A lot of those Bellator guys make more than your average PFL guy. And so you notice they brought a lot of the Bellator guys over to PFL, but not the top dogs. The reason for that is paying those guys to fight 3-4 times in a year in addition to the $1 million is just, for PFL right now, not economically feasible. So are we moving down a path of them cutting ties with a lot of these guys like they had to do with the Gegard Mousasi's of the world, and the PR nightmare that will come as a result of that will not be fun. And so what are they going to do? And how are they going to keep building stars? And how are they going to make us invested in these names? There's enough UFC right now. In the year 2024, Strikeforce was able to have a foothold. Pride, Elite XC to a degree, because there weren't 43 UFC events. Now it's almost every single weekend. How do you differentiate yourself? That's why I think BKFC is having some success, because they're able to differentiate themselves. They have something different, but it is leaning towards MMA. BKFC is attempting to sell 18,000 tickets on January the 25th. Is there any card, is there any fight, is there any type of event that PFL could put on in the year 2025 that can sell 18,000 tickets in the United States of America? I say no. Do you guys disagree?
Has to be Jake Paul. Other than that, no.
I don't think the Jake Paul thing is a thing.
I don't either, but
Francis
that's
Ngannou on the same card.
I think Jake Paul was a strategic move on their part to get, it's become very clear, to get attention, to be a part of the promotion, but there is no talk of him fighting MMA, and I think it would be absolute lunacy at this point for him to fight MMA. Unless it's some crazy one-off where there's no takedowns or anything and it's like a dirty boxing thing. I just don't see it. Is there anyone for Francis to fight that is selling 18,000 tickets?
Nobody that is available, no.
So how are they going to differentiate themselves? How are they going to have a different kind of product? Do they become more of a international brand? Are they more of the European, Middle East, Africa brand? I don't know, but there's a lot that they need to figure out. They've reached a certain point and they've become number 2 by default, but there's a lot to be concerned with. And they have the the great fortune of being number 2 because they acquired the previous number 2. One championship feels like they're moving further and further away from MMA. And then there's, the KSWs of the world and the Cage Warriors of the world and the Octagons of the world. And the difference between those organizations and PFL, they sell tickets. And so if I were in charge, I would try to lean more into the places that actually buy tickets to your events. Paris, England, those markets, Ireland. I know why they're keeping Bellator around, at least for now. TV deal, etc. Are they going to be on Max? Are they going to go somewhere else? There's a ton of questions there. And so, yes, I share the concern that Nick is presenting, and there's a lot that you could say this isn't adding up. This isn't adding up. I do think that it would benefit them greatly to have a promoter type who can speak to the fight fan with passion. I like Don Davis, but when he speaks, it sounds like he is speaking to investors. Lorenzo didn't go up there on the dais because he didn't have the fire and the passion that Dana had. Dana got you excited. Dana got you connected. Dana got you emotionally invested in the stories and the fights and the fight cards. Don doesn't do that. And so the perfect scenario would be Don being the Lorenzo and someone else being the Dana. That person just doesn't exist for them right now. He did an interview recently, I think it was with Mike Heck of MMA Fighting, and he was asked, what's his favorite MMA fight of all time? And he gave an answer that I don't know if it will go down as akin to the Hulk Hogan, I didn't do steroids answer on Arsenio Hall, which has sort of stuck with him throughout his career, because afterwards it was proven that he did take steroids. But to say that you don't watch MMA and that you don't have a favorite fight, like that is a layup of all layups. Just say Shane Burgos, the fight that he had, or say that I don't know, pick a random Kayla Harrison fight. Pick anything under the PFL umbrella. What's the best PFL fight of all time? It's hard to even think of one because they all kind of bleed together. Is it the Burgos fight? Would people say that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know off dome. I mean, Pacheco and Harrison, the last one was pretty damn good.
But you know what I'm saying? How many events have they put on and nothing? But like, he should know. You can't say that type of thing. So anyway, litany of things. Let's see what happens in 2025.
But these are all fair things proposed. But what I kind of get back to is like the only fix for this is roster. It will always be roster.
Yes, but you also have to be able to use the roster in the right way, and I don't think using them in the playoff regular season format is the right way.
But my question is, do they even have the roster right now?
No, they don't.
Even even if the Bellator and PFL,
it would make it better. It would make it better, but the problem is those guys aren't going to take a pay cut. Now, it could be, hey, pay cut, or you're going to be out of a job, and they might be, SOL, but it could potentially get ugly. Back to the questions. HG Spike. Yo, Ariel and crew. The next question is just for Rick for no reason, absolutely no reason at all. Would you rather every time you sneeze, you turn into, Is
this the same guy every time?
I don't know.
Because I feel like I've been in and out, like on the days we've been asking these, I've been like popping in. Is this the same guy?
The way it's written, it sounds similar.
Okay, got it.
Would you rather every time you sneeze, you turn invisible for 20 minutes?
Okay.
Or every time you throw up, you have to write a different 3-page book report on the same book again and again. You have to choose one. Thank you in advance for taking this seriously.
How is this one even like debate? Like,
it's got to be the sneeze.
One, I get a superpower, and one, I get like a punishment. Like, yeah, I would I would force myself to sneeze. I'd be like inhaling pepper, and then be able to turn myself invisible and do whatever I want. So yeah, of course that one. Easy.
What would you do if you were invisible?
Yeah, see, this is off the record stuff. This is where we don't, talk about what I'm doing, but there might be some.
How long would you be invisible?
We already have a mysterious person on the team.
How long are you invisible for?
20 minutes.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Imagine the debauchery you could get away with in 20 minutes.
There's also, a lot that I could do in 20
sneezing
minutes.
is much more common than throwing up.
No, but the throwing up one is a punishment. I don't want to write an essay.
Yeah, this is a horrible one.
This is a bad one by that guy.
Yeah.
Usually they're pretty comparable. This one, no good.
If I never throw up again for the rest of my life, I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
It's not as
probably
not as great as you think it is.
It's not as cracked up.
We got a few more in us. As a man who also hates throwing up, we definitely got a few more in us.
Great Seinfeld episode about the throwing up streak.
Hopefully, hopefully I can go like a decade without it.
Yeah. John Bob 19. Hello, Helwani and the crew. Can we get the AH Show Premier League Fantasy Football League back in our lives for next season? Maybe a quick segment on one of the Uncrowned shows. Yeah, we took a break, but I would love to do it. I didn't do it with my kids. My kids have gone so into basketball. Like, they hardly watch soccer now. They
feel like
go
that's
through
a
these.
common theme. I don't hear anything about soccer from you guys anymore. So
no, I'm still. Listen,
cool.
The chat is just me. You go to the Forest chat. It's just blue. They're all
in the Forest chat. I'm not in it anymore, right?
No.
Okay.
It's me. It's GC. It's Frank who hasn't
me?
written. I think we once.
Frank's in it.
Frank's in it.
He was as quiet as I was.
I
How did
know.
he even get? I feel bad for Frank.
No. There was 1 week where Frank was like, "I'm diehard Forest."
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got
And
it.
so we added him, and
I'm a lurker now.
and it's crazy because
Frank
they're
has-
actually doing great. They're 7th.
Frank has never turned on a Premier League game. I actually watch.
Frank's a
Watched
lurker
a few
on
with
his own
you
group
in
chats.
real time.
Anyway, would love to do it again. It's just when the season started, there was so much going on here. Launching this whole empire, we were very busy, but perhaps.
Who the fuck is we?
Yeah, well, I guess you're right. Jimmy, hi from the DMZ in South/North Korea for a research trip. But I'm just asking a question. What?
The demilitarized zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless, man. Stay safe. Did you have a dream number of kids, or did you want one more in the future? Also, knowing you're a big germ guy, would you ever use public restrooms? And I'm not talking about the urinals. Thanks, Ariel. Hopefully I don't get trapped in North Korea. Yeah. No kidding. Good luck.
By the way, these are like the things he's wondering. Like he's worried about getting trapped in North Korea, but before he does, he needs to get your answer on how many kids and you ever use a public.
In my mind, it was always 3 or 4, and I do strongly believe in 2018 we were gifted sweet matcha, and I think that became a big responsibility, and it just kind of ended it. Also, having a daughter after the 2 boys, I think if the third was a boy, I think there would have been a push for a 4th to try and have a girl, but felt like we had everything we needed. Everyone was healthy, thank God, and that was that. As for public restrooms, I have to use public restrooms all the time. You know, there's just a certain procedure that we have to put into place when using, and I try to teach this to my kids. Like, you can't touch anything. The little handle thingy, the like. Do you guys touch? This is kind of a debate. Like, do you guys touch the flusher? Please say no.
Yes.
I'm
Foot on the flusher.
Urinal. I'll hit with like one of those as like quick come down with the fist, and then stall. I'll just kick it flush.
What if it's one of those with the buttons on top?
I'll hit it because what Rick's about to say, I'm about to like thoroughly wash my hands as soon as I'm done.
Yeah, I'll touch all those things because I'm washing
Okay, but does
my
it bother
hands
you
2
that some
seconds
people use their foot to do it?
I'm that guy.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I use the foot.
I use the foot, but
No,
now
it doesn't bother
but
me.
now
Why
it's
would that bother?
I'm
because
literally
you're
about to
not
wash
touching
my
your foot.
hands.
it's awful.
It's not all.
But
if you are
explain
about to
this
go
to me.
wash your hands, like
Yeah,
you
you're about to wash
understand
your
that,
hands.
right?
I just
You
I
can
feel
do
like it's not enough.
horrible things and then wash your hands.
I feel like it will take I feel like it will take 10 washes to get rid of it. Okay, let me ask you this: when you the latch thingy, do you touch that
to lock the door?
To unlock the door when you're leaving?
Yeah.
You touch it.
Yeah, because he's gonna wash his hands.
What do you do?
Toilet paper.
Hey, geez,
yeah, fuck the planet, right?
You do.
What? Fuck the planet.
Did you change your?
It's a little. It's a
kids'
square.
diapers when they were young.
I would bathe in my kids' diapers.
That is
right.
like
I
so
adore
much
my
While you're
dirty.
eating
Kids are like factories for illness and disease.
Nah, but it's different when it's one of your own.
No, it's not.
It's your DNA. Okay, let me ask you this. Faucet thingy. When you're done washing, what do you touch?
The faucet to turn it off.
Okay, so now the same thing that you touched to start cleaning your hands, you just touched it after you cleaned your hands,
but now the hand
thus
is
making your hands
warm.
unclean.
Ariel, you were also probably on your phone as you were walking into the bathroom, put it in your pocket for 2 seconds to go to the bathroom, if not kept it out. And
Look at all the grime on his phone.
then as
Sanitize.
and then
Every
as
night I
soon as you
sanitize
leave-
it.
Every night?
Every night,
Every
yeah.
night, but not, you washed your hands and then you pulled your phone right back out so all those germs are right back on it.
If you want to avoid all this, you need to live in a bubble. Otherwise,
No, I'm telling you, I just have procedure. What about the door handle when
But
you
the
leave the
procedure
bathroom?
doesn't make any sense.
Door handle
because
leaving the bathroom.
Sure.
There are so many other things that you're doing that are exposing you to these germs anyway. You're wasting your effort. You're wasting time.
Do you touch the door handle?
I touch everything and then I wash my hands like a normal person.
And he drinks raw milk.
Drinks raw?
Raw milk?
You guys don't do raw milk?
What's raw milk?
No.
Oh, wow.
Is it just whole milk? What's raw milk?
Milk that hasn't been pasteurized. Have you guys not been watching the news?
No. Is that
All
bad
right.
for you or good for you?
Yeah, it's debatable.
People claim that it's good for you, but I'm not risking it.
I've never had it, but I
There's been
try
a
it.
breakout of bird flu.
I was just
Maybe
about to
this is
say,
how I got
as someone
gout.
that hates throwing up, I'm not going to do the raw milk.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like you're giving.
I don't even know where the fuck I
There was
would
a
get raw milk.
there was a fight. Was it Cheeto? Who's the one who said that he? No, Cheeto was the oat milk guy, right?
Yeah, I could see Cheeto drinking raw milk.
There was a
though.
fighter who said that he was a raw milk guy on the show. God,
It might
I
have been
see.
Cheeto.
I
It might
see
have
his
been
face. Who was it?
It's illegal as well. And a few
Was it
states.
Tim?
Is it? It's illegal?
Yep.
Shout out.
Nah. Yeah, I don't know. That
Anyway.
feels like a lot of effort, but
Good luck to this gentleman in the DMZ. Did I
you did.
answer?
You did.
Yeah, I did answer the second question.
Are you a urinal at all guy, Ariel?
Yeah, it's fine.
Are you a urinal at all guy?
It depends. I
Well,
mean,
me
if
and
it's-
Ariel ran into each other.
Yeah,
in the
but I'm not
bathroom.
gonna-
He stalled it, locked
Yeah, because
it,
I don't want to
everything.
stand right next to you. Like, there's a whole bathroom there.
Wait, okay.
Is that
There was
weird?
there was
Partitions,
one
that's
guy
fine.
next to me at the urinal, and Ariel, from
Yeah.
the stall, we started having a conversation, and this guy was just
By the
in
way-
the middle of it.
By the way, I didn't realize that there was some. Was there someone there the whole time, or did
Whole
he
time.
come?
Whole time, Ariel walks in.
He
What's
turned
up,
his
man?
head and looked over
How
at
are you?
Connor.
As he's slamming the stall door shut and locking, and he's just like, "How you feeling today, dude?" I was just like, I'm good, man.
You should have left and let him talk to that other guy.
Well, I did leave after a while.
What's the proper etiquette? No speaking?
You just cough.
No, you can speak, but we did have to acknowledge the other guy in there.
I feel like you can't speak until you're at the sink.
I had a
That's my
guy
rule.
today, speaking of, 3 urinals, me on one end, dude on other end, guy comes in straight in the middle. I was like, that's a play right
what
there.
the hell is that? I mean,
That's a
there were
play.
3 urinals
That's
for
aggressive.
a reason. They're not like
Yeah, there's 3 urinals for a reason, so you have a buffer urinal in between you and the man on the other end.
some plumber set it up because gotta have a buffer.
Gotta have the buffer urinal.
I
Come
would
on.
prefer not to have a conversation until we're done and we're at the sink.
I was
the
gonna
guy
say
who always
sink
starts
is
a
when you
conversation
typically begin the urine.
that's my-
Can I also say that
bathroom talk.
diabolical behavior is urinal, pull out the phone?
Of course.
I've
What is
done it
that all
before.
about?
I've done it before.
What is that all about?
I'm addicted. I'm a sick
Yeah,
addict.
I'm on that
Are you guys a
arena, baby.
spitter in the urinal? I asked.
Yeah,
Conor.
Rick goes no
Gross.
hands. Rick goes no hands at the urinal, and he just MTG arenas it. He goes up to the middle urinal
Stop.
with the MTG. With his, like a kid in the urinal, his pants already down. He just walks
My
up.
shimmy
pants are at my
with
ankles.
ankle.
I
Yeah.
actually just go in the sink. I go in the sink with the MTG arena.
Pants at the ankle, ass
looks so
out,
uncomfortable.
MTG arena playing. Everyone else is just like, who the fuck is this guy?
I've marked my territory back. I actually don't go to the urinal at all. I
All right,
always go stall.
Spent too long on.
Bathroom.
You
talk.
guys urinal cake guys? How do we feel?
No urinals ever.
Uh,
Straight
No
to
urinals
stall.
ever. Wow.
Straight to stall.
I'm cool on the cakes,
I'm
man.
fine. I'm fine with urinal,
I don't want that.
No-
spot.
no-
especially with my
cakes,
kids.
though.
Like with the boys, like it's just easier, you know.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that when you have young boys, they will go to urinal and like completely pull their pants down.
Yeah, that's
what we were just
saying.
talking
That's
about.
what that's what Rick
That's
does.
what
when he's
I do.
playing-
Do it?
when he's playing MTG Arena at the middle urinal. He pulls his pants all the way
I get
down.
naked and just.
There's nothing
whip out
like
the MTG.
you're walking in a struggling dad and like his kid has just got the pants all the way down. You're like, all right, I'll just wait outside.
Mr. Mystery Balls, shalom.
Perfect.
Shalom Aleichem, Habibi. I mean, no disrespect toward the UFC. I genuinely enjoy their content and recognize their sensitivity to criticism. But I have to ask, why is Kron Gracie still in the UFC? It's baffling that they continue to back him and even give him significant opportunities after his last disastrous performance. Meanwhile, they let go of real talent like Muhammad Makhayev and keep fighters like Aljamain Sterling and Movsar Evloev buried on the prelims. Sure, some might argue those fighters are boring, but what exactly is Kron bringing to the table? Maybe they like the Gracie name. What can I say?
Also, I think it's a little bit harsh. One performance to be like throw this guy out. I don't know. That doesn't feel right.
The main card feels weird. You should have the Mosar Aljo on the main card.
Oh, I definitely
Couldn't
agree
agree
with
more.
that. I mean,
It's a
don't get me
massive
started on
fight.
the card placement. Sure,
Essentially
I
like
think
a-
it's the most dumb thing.
Number one contender at 145.
It doesn't really
Up
matter,
there.
yeah.
Card placement doesn't matter. It's useless.
Well, I mean, main card versus prelims though.
still don't care. But
They all get paid the same.
it's all the same.
If anything, if you're a fan of Aljo, you should be happy you're not
It's
having
free.
to pay pay-per-view
Yeah.
prices.
Well, you're gonna pay for it anyway.
Kron.
Maybe not.
I don't think you. It sounds like he just wants Kron cut. I don't know about that. That feels harsh
Nah.
for one performance. He also, again, he's a Gracie. He has a Gracie name, and truth be told, he's a sick grappler. Like if the last fight was a striking thing where it just wasn't going his way and he's butt scooting and doing all that, but like when he grapples, he's somebody to actually want to watch. So I don't.
Also,
I don't buy
you
that.
do say one performance. I mean, he's only had one fight in the last 5 years.
That's absurd. Wow. It's been 5 years, huh? Wow.
One fight since October of 2019.
Okay, just a couple more. Steven Seagal Sensei. Hi, Ariel. Your words in Sunday's email deeply resonated with me. My empathy for the Jewish community has grown even stronger recently as I've been exploring books on World War II. I'd encourage everyone to read Ordinary Men by Christopher R. Browning for a close and unsettling look at the atrocities suffered by the Jewish community during those dark times. To balance the heaviness of that book, I'd recommend pairing it with Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. One book reveals how ordinary people can become instruments of tyranny under the wrong circumstances. The other offers insight into enduring even the most unimaginable hardships brought on by that same tyranny. Understanding is the best path to empathy, and we need more of that now. Stay strong, Helwani. Brighter days lie ahead. Shama. Love it. Thank you, my friend.
Shama.
Yes. I appreciate that very much. Carlos, has anyone watched the new MMA series on Netflix, The Cage? What are your
Never
thoughts?
heard of it.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Have you guys watched it?
Never
I
heard
watched one episode where Not only George St. Pierre's in it, but big ArielHelwani in it as well. And I have to say,
You're in it?
They really big up like the whole like.
It was cool, right?
The MMA Hour music hits, and then like
streets
it goes
of New York.
It goes to the streets of New York. I was like, this is sick. I remember when we filmed this.
Can I break the fourth wall for people? And you know what we're talking about, right, Rick?
Yes, I remember.
I haven't been able to watch the whole thing.
I'm not gonna lie. Is it not a French show?
It's French, yes.
Yeah, and it was dubbed. I was like,
dubbed
I was
for
like,
the
these
US
guys'
audience.
mouths aren't
Yes.
matching up. But the way Pierre set it up, he's just like. He's like, I know just the guy. And then the MMA music starts, and then it goes to New York. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
It's
this
wild.
Is amazing.
It's wild. It's my my I don't want to call it, what would it be? Not theatrical, like my scripted debut.
It's your
cinematic?
Netflix series debut after making your Netflix sports debut.
And I think that actually came out before the fight. I will just say, so what was interesting about it, you guys know this, so they reached out about it, and I've said no to some of these things, but it was a pretty easy lift because we just got to do it from the set here. Well, actually, it was at the old place.
You're about to explain it.
What happened? Wait.
You say easy, but now you're about to explain it.
That it wasn't
and it's
that
not so easy.
So yes, there was some trickiness. If you watch the clip, I wonder if we could play it. But anyway, if you watch the clip, it's me talking to George St. Pierre. Well, the trickiness is, and this is now the magic of movies. That clip, the George interview, was sent to us beforehand. I wanted to actually just do an interview with George, like a fake interview with George, right? Per the script. Instead, they sent us the George interview with him pausing in between, which is actually tougher than it may seem because you have to time your questions and the whole sort of flow and cadence to how he's answering things. And there's a time where he like jumps in and he's moving.
Tough.
So we had to do it a bunch of times, like maybe like 10 times.
And he also sent it formatted vertically.
Yes, vertically.
We needed
which
it
which
horizontally.
we would never do.
We would never do
Ever
it
do that.
vertically.
And pisses me off. And
I just remember that day. It was so funny. The amount of times that like St. Pierre would just, you would run and you get railroad by him. It was so good.
Oh my God. It was tough. But in the end, I think it actually comes out looking pretty good. But yes,
that was one of the more impressive things I've seen you do, if I'm being honest. To pull that
really
off,
liked
because it was pretty impossible.
Yeah, it was tough. Plus, I had to remember all the names. Oh,
Yeah.
Kevin and the characters involved. And I didn't really see, I had not read the script. They just gave me like a fake script that I had to fake. It was fun. I appreciated it. Great times and a nice little. And some people have been hitting us up about it. So, yeah, thank you very much. Go check it out, The Cage on Netflix. John Jones is in it as well. Jamrock Juddy. Hi, Ariel. I really hope you can respond to this, being that it's been a big topic this past week, as well as a big deal for me in my life personally. The way you spoke about McGregor's case this past week felt like a politician's response to a journalist's question regarding what they will do when elected president. You've gone off on other people in the fight world for much less regarding the circumstances, but I, as well as many others in the YouTube viewers, feel like you didn't really want to go in on McGregor, being that he's the cash cow, and calling it unfortunate news and other phrases that equate to someone's grandmother passing away or a bad visit to the doctor's office, when in reality, this is a much bigger problem in society. Especially with the stature and infamy of McGregor, it feels like you're not condemning Conor for his actions due to your personal relationship with him, and would like to see you come at him the way you've done with others who've committed lesser crimes. Okay, so let's talk about this and let's end on this one. And I appreciate it and won't hide from it. I see people saying that. In fact, I will say a lot of it, I do believe, is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I saw people saying, I bet you won't, I bet you won't, I dare you to talk about it, when of course we were going to talk about it. We talked about it when the trial started. We talked about it midway through. We talked about it at the end. We talked about it at the conclusion. But people believe, oh, just because of the fact that I've interviewed Conor, I've had him on the show, he's been good to me, we have some kind of working relationship. We're not the best of friends. I've never been to his house. I've never had dinner with him or anything like that, but obviously a good working relationship, that I wouldn't talk about something like this, which is absolute lunacy. We've talked about all the transgressions up until even in 2020, when there was an incident that was out there. It was this incident that was coming up, and it couldn't be talked about because it was still in the potential investigation criminal phase. So you'll recall initially his name couldn't be mentioned and whatnot. I was sitting in front of him prior to the Donald Cerrone fight in Las Vegas and asked him about it in a room of like 30 of his team members and 0 of my team members. ESPN had no one there with me, and I asked him about it. In any event, I know people were going to say it's impossible to please everyone. I think Uncrowned, like I said earlier, did a great job. I think PT in particular did a great job. And I think everyone who has talked about it or reported on it or commented on it has done a great job. But this is about me. And I see people saying, you've gone way harder on other people. Tell me about the people that I've gone harder on. There's another question here about Luis Pena, who had a similar incident. Did you see me go off on Luis Pena? Am I that type of guy? Am I that type of journalist? Let's talk about Jamal Hill, who made, very serious kind of comments, whatever, about me. Did I even bring up when he got into an issue, a personal family issue? Did I bring that up? Did I even comment on it? I didn't even tweet about it, to the best of my knowledge. Didn't talk about it on the show at all. Okay? What you're all referring to, I know, is the Dana White situation. Now, the Dana White situation was something that we saw on camera happen. We saw the actual act happen on camera. And let's not beat around the bush. The relationship between Dana and I is a very personal and sensitive one. And for 2 days after the incident came out, I didn't say a thing about it. And even on Twitter, I didn't comment on it. I retweeted a bunch of articles and commentary on it, and I waited to the show so I can collect my thoughts to talk about it. And the crux of the issue, if you go back to that, people say I did a whole 3-hour breakdown. Not true. That's not true at all. Again, all this is just fake bullshit that people want to bring up and lie about. Didn't do a 3-hour show. It was before our award show. I'm sitting there. I think we did 45 or so minutes at the top of the show, and then we took a break and went to the awards. And I talked about it from a place responding to someone who once said, what are your kids going to say about you? What are they going to say about you? And so that was my response back to him. That's personal. That's next level. That's something that I don't think anyone should talk about. Never talk about someone's family. Never talk about someone's kids. That to me is out of bounds. And so that's where I was coming from with that. If you go back to that show, you'll remember that I never said I'm calling for his head. You'll remember that I never said, I have to go back and watch it to the best of my knowledge right now, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. Never said it was disgusting. Never said he should be fired. Never said anything. I said there should be a comment, and I don't believe in cancel culture. I just want to see them address it. And I said it's a dangerous game to play if you come out and don't address it, because now you're telling other people that this type of behavior is going to be allowed. And when you're going to be forced to make some kind of decision about someone who does something similar, because it just happens, it's a societal thing. It happens. What do you do then? Now, I do also remember when he addressed it, we were breaking down some of the comments, but he did sit there in front of the media and addressed everything, and he's moved on and he's talked about it openly, and that's a private family matter. Do you see me bringing it up? Do you see me hitting him below the belt? Do you see me talking about it? No, I don't do that, because I believe that there should be a line. Now, if it's pertinent to the business, if it's pertinent to the sport, fine, we talk about things, but I do believe that there should be a line. In this case, I said it was disgusting. I said it was unfortunate. I said I want to see how it plays out. He is adamant that he's going to appeal. His wife, like I said, or his partner, his fiance, has commented on it as well. There are some people who, have one say, have another say. There are some people who have said to me, like, I was only talking about the negative, would you believe? And that kind of tells me if one side is saying you're too harsh and the other side is saying you're too lenient, maybe you are in the middle and maybe you are doing something right. I understand that you can never please everyone. And in particular, when it comes to someone like Conor, people want to see, me call for his head and stomp on him. Disgusting, unfortunate, hard to read, hard to look at, and you're seeing the backlash. He has been able to rebound from a lot of incidents. Let's be honest, there have been a lot. You now have to wait and see how he's going to rebound. It's not up to me. It's not up to me to determine how he's going to rebound, but you're starting to see a domino effect that we've never seen in the past. We've never seen this before as it pertains to him. The Proper 12 news, shocking to me. I thought they were going to wait until the appeal process was over. Maybe they know something that we don't. Some of the other outlets, not carrying, people painting murals of him. I've seen that as well. The video game announcement. These are all very important things and things that I'm talking about. So you want me to sit and kick him and say this guy is a clown who should never fight in the UFC. I don't know what you want me to say. There's a part of me that thinks that nothing I could say will make some of you happy, and that is totally fine. I believe we've covered this fairly. I believe we've covered this objectively, and I believe I've said how I feel about the verdict and the accusation and what happened and what the victim, Nikita, is saying about him. What more do you want? You want me to sit there for an hour and say it over and over again? Then fine. Then I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that because there's a million things that we're going to talk about. Nothing more important than this, and that's why I started the show on Monday talking about it, and that's why when the thing kicked off, we started the show talking about it, and on it goes. And so I do think this is healthy, and I have no problem taking the criticism. I've never said that I'm going to be perfect. I've never said that I'm the end-all, be-all. We do our best here covering the show, and if it falls short in some people's eyes, then so be it. I do think that some people had a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I do think some people's revisionist history of how we covered the Dana story and how we've covered other sexual assault / domestic violence / criminal offenses. Show me the time where I sat here when someone did something like that and went in on them and called for their head and said that they need. Do you guys remember that? Call me out right now. Call me out right now. I'm willing to take it. When do I do that? When do I hit someone below the belt? When do I do that? We've had the personal issues with the Brendans of the world and the Patties of the world. That's different. That's about me. But when there's been incidents like that, do I try to keep a level head and just sort of, at that point I go into news mode. I don't feel like it's my place to go into commentary mode in that point. Other people do, and God bless them, and go watch them. And other people have different roles in this game. But that's when I go into sort of like the old school journalist news role, and that's what I feel most comfortable doing in those cases. Me talking about matchmaking and fighting and posters and promos and matchups and rankings is very easy stuff. That's punditry. That's toy department stuff, as Howard Cosell once said. This is real life stuff. This is family stuff. And so that's how I feel most comfortable covering these sorts of things. And I would argue that I have been quite consistent with that. I did want to bring up the comments from D. D on Instagram stories saying, imagine a woman with her own boyfriend and child texting provocative pictures of herself to another woman's man with a family and child on the way. This woman claims to know me, yet still went ahead and sent messages and pictures of herself over and over to my man. Really? Whilst on a 3-day bender, texting excuses to her own child at home where mommy is on a Sunday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, Sunday night, into Monday morning, all the while out of her face in a hotel room, dancing around in a hotel car park. What sort of woman are you? My sons will be warned. Women like you exist. She goes on. I will let you read that. Nothing or nobody will change that. She talks about the love that he has for his family. Our family stands strong. Conor and I dealt with these issues privately many years ago, as should be done in a relationship, and we have come out stronger than ever. We have 4 beautiful children now whose smiling faces and happy hearts are a testament to who he is and who we are. They, without sin, cast the first stone. So those were her first comments on what has transpired. And don't wish this upon anyone. Don't wish what Nikita has been through. Don't wish what she has been through. Don't wish it upon anyone. It's again, it's an awful story. It's an awful turn of events. It's an awful thing for anyone to go through. And when you read and watch the testimony or read about the testimony and the details from that night, it is extremely uncomfortable and like I said the first time, disgusting. Them's my thoughts. What did I just see there? Oh, I thought I just saw an overlay. All right, we need to end on a little bit more of a positive note on the Thanksgiving Eve program. Let me pick one out here real quick. Come on, give me a fun one. Give me a fun one.
Let's do it.
Give me a fun one. Give me a fun one. Well, let me see if are there any more.
There were some super chats from earlier in the week.
Oh, do you have them?
Yeah, let me grab that. One sec.
AZ Ray videos. Ray Cepho could be a decent figurehead for PFL. I feel like they need someone a little bit different, who's able to sell the fights.
So we do have a couple here that I'll just go in order.
Yeah, go ahead.
But one started with Mason Bickner. Said, would it sound better as the AH show is back? They're just adding their...
The AH show is back.
Just doesn't hit, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
But at least you workshopped it. Then Metal-Faced Gamer became a heel wannabe. We're very excited about that. Thank you. Then Cameron Mitchell sent, is it possible to get video on the Spotify feed? You know, this has been asked a while.
A lot. Yeah, I skip over them because I don't want to put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
I don't know. I feel like that's
yeah,
a you thing.
It's me. We could look into it.
Okay.
That's a good response.
All right.
Then we have one from Alicio Corbetto. If it's not Frank's fault, whose fault is it? Yeah, that's a good point.
It is a great point.
So it does come right back to me, doesn't it? And the last one we have here is from Sterling. Cheers, Ariel and boys in the back. Thanks for the content. I'm an American living in Toronto for a bit, and I am looking for cool places to check out. Any ideas?
In Toronto.
Correct. What was the name of that pizza place?
Danny's.
Damn it.
Danny's Tavern. Thank you for that. That's my good friend Mark Cupford and his crew. Amazing pizza. Green olives. I feel it right here. Who wants to go for some pizza?
It's got the whale.
Yeah, it's got the whale. Have you been there, Frank?
Yeah. I went last year,
that's right.
September.
So you tell me, yeah?
That was amazing. Really good customer service, really good beer on tap. Like I was very pleased with the recommendation. I had a really good night with that. And they brought the pizza between my wife and I. I was like, I don't know if we can do this. We did it. We did the thing. We rose to the challenge.
Yeah. As you've been known to do.
Yeah. Rising to the challenge.
As we have done. And what a great week it has been. A shorter week for us, no Thursday, Friday, but we have been a little bit banged up here. So for all of you complaining about too much content, here's your chance to catch up. I do want to thank one more time our good friends over at Aviron, Aviron, active, active.com/uncrowned. There it is. You can join us on the bike right now. Our very first brand deal. How big is this for us, guys? Yes, and more to come. Thanks for watching this video. Hey, before you go, do me a favor, hit that sub button, give us a thumbs up, hit the little bell thingy as well, leave us a nice comment or two. We appreciate you all very much.